Among the many remarkable figures in Islamic history, one man stands out as both a fearless warrior and a deeply devoted believer, Prophet Hamza ibn Abdul-Muttalib, the noble uncle of Prophet Muhammad. Known as Asadullah, the Lion of Allah, and Sayyid al-Shuhada, the Master of Martyrs, Hamza's life is a powerful story of bravery, loyalty, and faith. From being a respected member of the Quraysh tribe to becoming one of the earliest and strongest defenders of Islam, Hamza's transformation is both inspiring and emotional. His unwavering courage in the face of the enemies of Islam, especially during key battles like Badr and Uhud, earned him a legendary status among the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. In this video, we explore the extraordinary life of Prophet Hamza, a man whose heart was full of love for Islam and whose sword struck fear into the hearts of its enemies. In the golden pages of Islamic history, few names shine as brightly as that of Prophet Hamza ibn Abdul-Muttalib, the uncle of Prophet Muhammad and one of the earliest and bravest champions of Islam. Revered with the title Asadullah, the Lion of Allah, and Sayyid al-Shuhada, the leader of the martyrs, Hamza's legacy continues to inspire millions. His transformation from a noble warrior of Quraysh to a fearless defender of the Prophet Muhammad marks a pivotal chapter in the early days of Islam. Hamza's story is a tale of loyalty, courage, and ultimate sacrifice for the sake of Allah. Early life and status in Quraysh. Prophet Hamza was born around the same time as Prophet Muhammad, and both shared a special bond not just as uncle and nephew, but also as close companions. They were even nursed by the same woman, Thuwayba, creating a strong emotional connection from childhood. Hamza grew up in the noble Banu Hashim clan of the Quraysh tribe, respected for his strength, hunting skills, and leadership. His love for horseback riding, archery, and wrestling earned him widespread admiration. By all measures, Hamza was considered a powerful and dignified figure among the Quraysh. The turning point, embracing Islam. The life-changing moment came when Prophet Muhammad began preaching the message of Islam openly in Mecca. The Quraysh opposed him fiercely, often mocking, insulting, and physically harming him. One day, Abu Jahl, a staunch enemy of Islam, insulted and harmed the Prophet Muhammad near the Kaaba. When Hamza returned from hunting and heard what had happened, his heart burned with rage. Without hesitation, Hamza stormed into the haram, struck Abu Jahl with his bow, and declared, "Do you insult him when I follow his religion and say what he says?" This powerful declaration marked Hamza's conversion to Islam. Though it was sudden and emotionally driven, Hamza later fully committed himself to the faith with deep conviction. His acceptance of Islam gave a massive morale boost to the early Muslims. With Hamza's support, the Quraysh were now dealing with a fearless warrior on the side of Islam. Hamza's role as a defender of Islam. After accepting Islam, Prophet Hamza became one of the strongest protectors of the Prophet Muhammad. While others were afraid to speak or act against the oppression in Mecca, Hamza stood firm. He refused to hide his faith and challenged the Quraysh openly. His strength and high status in the tribe made it risky for anyone to harm the Muslims in his presence. Hamza was also known for his wisdom and sincerity. He would often reflect deeply on the verses of the Quran and the mission of the Prophet Muhammad. His heart softened with the message of mercy and justice, and his entire life took on a new purpose, to support Islam no matter the cost. The Battle of Badr, the Lion Roars. The first major battle between the Muslims and the Quraysh was the Battle of Badr, a turning point in Islamic history. Despite being outnumbered and under-equipped, the Muslims marched with strong faith. Among them was Prophet Hamza, fully prepared to defend the truth. In the battle, Hamza stood out as one of the fiercest warriors. He was known to have worn an ostrich feather on his chest to be recognized. His powerful sword strikes brought down several leaders of the Quraysh, including Utbah ibn Rabi'a, one of the strongest enemies of Islam. Hamza's fearlessness on the battlefield earned him the title Asadullah, the Lion of Allah. His presence uplifted the morale of the Muslim army and played a key role in securing victory for the believers at Badr. The Battle of Uhud, the ultimate sacrifice. In the Battle of Uhud, the Muslims once again faced the Quraysh. This time, the enemy was well prepared and determined to avenge their loss at Badr. Despite an early advantage, a critical mistake by a group of Muslim archers led to the tide turning in favor of the Quraysh. Hamza, fought valiantly during the battle, bravely striking down enemy after enemy. However, a slave named Wahshi ibn Harb had been promised freedom by Hind bint Utbah, wife of Abu Sufyan, if he could kill Hamza in revenge for her father and brother who had died at Badr. Hiding behind rocks, Wahshi waited for the right moment and threw a spear with deadly precision. It struck Hamza in the abdomen, leading to his martyrdom. After his death, Hind mutilated Hamza's body in rage and grief, cutting out his liver and attempting to chew it. This act caused deep sorrow to the Prophet Muhammad, who mourned his beloved uncle bitterly. The Prophet's Muhammad, grief and honor for Hamza. The loss of Hamza, R.A., was deeply personal for the Prophet Muhammad. He wept over his uncle, calling him Sayyid al-Shuhada, the master of martyrs. The Prophet Muhammad later said, "I never cried for anyone the way I cried for Hamza." Hamza's martyrdom was not just a loss in battle, it was the departure of a man who embodied love, strength, and loyalty to the Prophet Muhammad and Islam. His bravery continued to be remembered in sermons and lessons. The Prophet Muhammad also instructed that Hamza's body be buried in the field of Uhud, and it remains there to this day, honored by generations of Muslims who visit the site to pay their respects. Wahshi's repentance and Islam. Years later, Wahshi, the man who killed Hamza, accepted Islam after the conquest of Mecca. He came to the Prophet Muhammad seeking forgiveness. Though the Prophet Muhammad accepted his repentance, he requested that Wahshi not appear in front of him frequently, as the sight reminded him of Hamza's tragic death. This moment reflects the Prophet's Muhammad compassion and human emotion, forgiving his uncle's killer, but still feeling the pain of loss. It also shows the mercy of Islam, where even the gravest sins can be forgiven with sincere repentance. Legacy of Prophet Hamza. Hamza ibn Abdul-Muttalib left behind a legacy of valor, faith, and sacrifice. His story teaches us that real strength lies not just in physical power but in using that power for justice and truth. He stood by the Prophet Muhammad when others were silent, defended Islam when it was vulnerable, and gave his life as a martyr for Allah's cause. The life of Hamza is a shining example of how one man's courage and loyalty can shape the course of history. From noble warrior to lion of Allah, Hamza's journey is filled with lessons of strength, sincerity, and faith. His memory lives on in the hearts of Muslims as a beloved uncle of the Prophet, Muhammad, a fierce defender of truth, and the master of martyrs. In every era, his story inspires believers to stand firm in the face of falsehood and to sacrifice for what is right, just as he did.